Ready.
Today is Monday, April 23rd, 2007. There are just 560 days left until the 2008 presidential elections.
It's noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West.
I'm Will.
I'm Rob.
And this is Political Lunch. Thanks for joining us for this inaugural edition of Political Lunch. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll tell you more about who we are and what this is that we're doing. But the bottom line is you can subscribe to the feed below, and we'll help you stay on top of the world of politics online.
Now, right to the news. McCain's back in the headlines for all the wrong reasons yet again.
You may have caught this clip last week of the senator speaking before an audience at the VFW Hall in South Carolina. He drew some fire for these remarks.
When do we send them an airmail message to Tehran? That old Beach Boys song, Bomb Iran? Bomb, 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 bomb.
Now, Move On now responded with an ad of their own, countering this and basically pointing out the danger of being so cavalier when it comes to foreign policy.
Now comes John McCain with his answer to what we should do about Iran.
That old Beach Boys song, Bomb Iran? Bomb, bomb, bomb.
John McCain? We can't afford another reckless president.
Now, over the weekend, this proved to be the story that just wouldn't go away, although I'm sure the senator wishes it would. He was asked a question about whether he thought those remarks were insensitive, and here's his response.
Please. I was talking with some of my old veterans friends, and my response is, lighten up and get a life.
You don't think it was insensitive or in any way?
Insensitive to what? The Iranians.
Now, I'm not quite sure I understand what he was being a little unclear about that response.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
My response is, lighten up and get a life.
Oh. Yeah, it says again.
But if... One more time?
Just a joke. How could it be anything else? I say, lighten up and get a life.
You know, it's remarkable he can be equally smug in every version.
Really is just really an outstanding performance by the senator. It has been a long couple of months for Senator McCain. In these early days of a presidential campaign, he's lagging in the money race and has gotten some bad press, to say the least. So we'll keep a close eye on the McCain camp and see if they can pull out of what appears to be a pretty rough patch.
Now let's go to Earth Day. Earth Day was yesterday, the 22nd, and many candidates had events around the country. There was, for instance, Obama greeted 10,000 people in a big rally. Edwards has really dedicated himself to the cause of global warming.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. If you go to the Edwards homepage, you can see, I don't know, fewer than 4 references to Earth Day. He has a call to action where local supporters can go out into their communities and help educate folks on their carbon footprint and what they can do to reduce it. It really is interesting that John Edwards is using Earth Day as not as much a political event as, a real sort of educational day of action. The Edwards campaign was the first to go carbon neutral. The Clinton campaign has now done the same, and you can see that she's posted on her website some congratulatory messages from her supporters.
Now let's look at the Republicans.
Let's look at the
I'd love to
Republicans.
see what they're doing right now. Giuliani, certainly mayor of New York, moderate. He's got to have something out there.
Sure.
I didn't
Okay.
see anything.
Maybe not.
Romney?
How about Mitt Romney? It's from Utah, beautiful state, clean air, blue skies. Surely he feels strongly about the environment.
Mayor of a nice liberal state.
On Earth Day, yeah, former governor of Massachusetts. So let's see. Let's check out his homepage.
Nothing
Okay,
there.
not seeing anything there. John McCain. Maybe here's a great opportunity for him to generate some positive press. Maybe he has some refreshing Earth Day initiatives. Take a look at his website. Okay.
Nothing there. Ouch.
And I have to tell you, as jaded as I am, even I was surprised to see none of the GOP presidential candidates even mention Earth Day or an environmental initiative on the homepage of their website. Now, we took a look at the second-tier GOP candidates, the Duncan Hunters, the Ron Pauls, and none of them had a reference to Earth Day on any of their sites as well. So,
You know what surprised me actually too is Bill Richardson.
Bill Richardson.
I really expected him to come out with something to put him back in,
Democrat
competition for environmental votes.
Correct. Democrat from Mexico, nothing. Also, Joe Biden, Democrat from Delaware, nothing about Earth Day on his homepage either. So,
here at Political Lunch, we don't like to take sides in the whole red state, blue state thing and be overly divisive, but I think this demonstrates really that this is a blue state, red state issue.
And the GOP is clearly still reluctant to engage on the issue of the environment. So moving on, let's see. We've got a Republican straw poll here with some pretty surprising results.
The American Family Association started this straw poll. It's good through May 13 in case you're interested in voting. What's amazing is actually the two top candidates are people who haven't in fact announced their candidacy. Gingrich and Thompson. Fred Thompson blew away everyone else. 2.5 times the votes.
42,000 votes
Gingrich.
for Fred Thompson.
Followed up, Newt Gingrich 16,000, Mitt Romney 13,000.
Interesting, 42,000 is also the number of people who watch Law & Order reruns at 3 in the morning, so there might be some correlation there for Fred Thompson.
Obviously, this is not a very
surprising.
It's not a scientific poll, but let's face it, most of the people who are voting in this are conservatives who fit the Family Association demographic.
Now, they also polled Democratic candidates, and it's interesting here that the top Democratic vote getter, let's see, is it John Edwards with 3,300 votes? Just barely managed to get more votes than the bottom of the heap on the GOP side, Tom Tancredo, 3,200 votes. So, American Family Association, I think we know what side of the fence they're coming down on.
Indeed.
Back to the Democrats. Senator Clinton was at Rutgers University over the weekend to give a speech about women and leadership. Now, she was supposed to meet with the Rutgers women's basketball team in a sort of follow-up to the Don Imus controversy.
And the only people who didn't show were the basketball team.
And to their, in their defense, it's been a couple of very long weeks for the team, and I don't think there were any hard feelings about the fact that they decided to have a little quiet time instead of joining the senator. But it was a great speech.
It was. It's actually some of the best speaking I've seen her do.
Yeah, we've got a little clip of that from CNN.com. Take a look.
So much of what we hear in our popular culture, even those who purvey it would deny this, it is discrimination, plain and simple. It is people waking up with those stereotypes in their head and feeling they can say anything about certain people. How do we use the new means of communication on the internet? How do we use MyFace or Facebook? What's it called? MySpace? Facebook? That's right. My daughter will kill me.
Now, this clip obviously doesn't really demonstrate how in touch she is with the net roots, but at the same time, she blows it off. She comes off comfortably, and it does reveal her entrepreneurial side, as a new .com fortune may be made from myface.com.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that domain can be registered.
Indeed.
Another Democrat, Joe Biden. Now, Joe's been in the Senate for years and years, should be a formidable candidate, but we just haven't heard much from him as of late. But when we do hear from him, it's pretty effective. He's good at the online communication thing. This email arrived in our inboxes over the weekend, promoting remarks made by New York Times columnist Tom Friedman in an interview with CNN's Wolf Blitzer. Bottom line is, Wolf asked Tom Friedman who he thought the best candidate was when it comes to the issue of Iraq.
Now, Friedman originally was very reluctant to say anything about the candidates because he doesn't want to be endorsing anyone, but he immediately cut to essentially an endorsement.
Sure, yeah, he came up with Joe Biden's name first and foremost as the candidate who has, or who was right first about the Iraq War. So that's quite an endorsement for the Biden campaign.
More news on Wednesday. Thanks very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to start this new program. And
Absolutely.
We'll be with you for 18 months.
I hope to see you back here next time on Wednesday. We'll give you a preview of the first Democratic debate. That'll be in South Carolina on Wednesday night. Now, this afternoon, make sure you check out Rob's interview at AmericanMicrophone.com. Last week, he sat down with media critic and journalism professor Jay Rosen to talk about Rosen's new venture, newassignment.net, and his thoughts on politics and the online world.
Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you Wednesday.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I mean, the end, at least. The middle and the beginning.